Hey there, thanks for joining us. I'm Gabe and I'm Elevated Daily. Today we're going to go ahead and jump into Walking Dead City, Season 1, Episode 2. I am really enjoying the show so far. The conflict that you could see and just the awkwardness between Maggie and Negan. It's one of the things I'm looking forward to most to see where this show is going to go. Any moment now, any one of them can stab each other in the back. You get the sense that neither of them really wants to. Well, except for Maggie, you can see that Maggie really kind of wants to. So definitely curious to where that's going. Uh, let's go ahead and get into this. But before we do, please like, comment, and subscribe. We want to go ahead and actually have a conversation about this with you. Let us know what's going on. I'd like to go ahead and discuss and see what the positives about this show are, what the negatives are, and what the fans like. I'd like to speak to other fans and see how y'all feel about this show. All right, let's go ahead and jump on into it. If you remember last week, Maggie and Negan ran into that old lady and she snatched something from them that blew out that candle. Looks like we're picking up right where that left off, and can't go one way because zombies there. Gotta follow this old lady and the lighting. But the apocalypse inside a city. How bright can it be for you? So I'm liking the cinematography. I just wish it was just a tad bit brighter, but I understand it. I get it. And this lady, dude, she's definitely stronger and more agile than she seems, climbing up those ladders, dropping, dead people down elevator shafts, trying to slow Negan and Maggie down. And then we come across that zip line. We see the old lady Spider-Man it across the buildings. And I'm a little hesitant on that. I'm not a fan of heights at all. But Negan mans up and does it. And then, it's Maggie's turn. And for a second, I thought Negan wasn't going to throw it back. Because, if he really didn't want to help, he could have. So you see that there's multiple instances where he could have just ditched her, but he doesn't. So Maggie swings across, and she doesn't, give that big enough push off, and she kind of gets stuck. And Negan tries to help her. He's reaching out. He's been offering this olive branch the whole time, and rather than have him help her, she would rather die hanging there and swing along her stubborn ass. And I get it. I understand why she's so against him helping. But you're asking him to help you save your son. I remember again what happened to Glenn, from that flashback in last week. And I get why she's upset with him, but how is she going to live her life like that? That's so much anger and energy to be carrying around. She was so fresh and uplifting and had such a pretty smile before, and she's just angry all the time. And when's the last time she stopped and smelled a rose? You have your kid there. You have your life. There's things you could do. It's messed up to see that she's stuck, in this trauma loop, and she just won't let it go. They meet up with the old lady that Negan immediately names Pigeon Lady, because she gave him some pigeon. He's trying to tell Maggie that maybe, we can get some information from her, maybe trade and something. Maggie's not interested at all. And she's telling me, she's just angry inside. She's like the opposite of this Marshall cat. Not even the opposite. They seem like they could be one and the same, to be honest with you. He's just as stuck in his, chasing Negan loop. And he's, head on into that. Look at what it's caused him. He's lost two partners, and now he's stuck in this factory of zombies. He did it to himself because he had people, but he's so gung-ho and such an asshat, that he didn't give the proper orders, didn't look after his men at all how he should have, and now his homeboy's walking around, with a gun on his back, trying to eat people. This is the situation that was caused by himself. And then you see that the old lady, Miss Pigeon Lady, was never alone. She has this grip of people that look like they attack you with drills, just coming out of the woodworks, like they're going to drill somebody. Not sure what that's about, but I definitely want to look into it just a little bit more. And then, they're talking and they're asking Maggie, what are you here for? And Maggie gives them, the most BS story about going to Canada and getting their boat stolen. And Negan's like, what are you doing, Maggie? You could have given them a little bit. The best lies have a little bit of truth in them. But she gives them nothing like that, and she gets them locked up into this, their green room, just the bathroom that they got to wait in. And here, it's just her and Negan, and these people don't know, but I mean, you've put a cat and a dog in a cage, and you want them to be friends. Negan has come a long way from the character that we saw, but we've seen him grow, and luckily we don't have that same, hate that Maggie does. We're able to get over things a lot because it's a show. Or with his character, we see he's grown. He's got a new family. He's got a baby with her. He's got this little girl, Jenny, that he's taking care of. And, Maggie, too. Maggie's got a life. She has Herschel still. She has lost a lot, and it's changed her. She's gone, like, look how hard she is now. And Herschel, you think he's going to be this awesome, kick ass hero kid like Judith, or Carl. But nah, he's the opposite. He's into drawing. Seems to be a little shithead, not wanting to even learn how to protect himself from the zombies. So, he's got this shadow that he's not willing to step out of, just kind of wants to live in. And he's not trying to make a name for himself in any way, shape, or form. And the city, it just looks so peaceful, yet completely scary because it's empty. And, dude, that'd be terrifying in itself. The marshal has that letter on him from, one of his compadres that he let get eaten. So he finds his way there and breaks in, kicks in the door, sees the picture of the dude and his brother, and is looking around, and hopefully there's a weapon in here. He finds that gun box and then looks around and he finds that body. And you see that, he's not as big as ass as he portrays to be. He does have feeling, although it seems to be just for the dead. He covers up the body and proceeds to grab the gun and then leave. When he's walking away from that fire escape, I was thinking he's just going for a stroll. Didn't even occur to me. Boom. And then he gets caught. Who's laying traps? That's the apocalypse. Everyone, cannibals, all that. So, my bad. I think I would have got caught in that trap as well. And then we hear some commotion going on, and they come to get Negan, and Negan pulls out that pigeon bone and tells Homeboy he's been sharpening it all day. Has it through his throat, and is letting him know, could cut you, could kill you, but I'm not. It's not what we're here for, man. What's the deal? We're not with these people. And dude's like, all right, let's go. And they start running and escaping, and they run into, some of the Kratz people that have already hit some of this group of outsiders that are not the Kratz people. And in the scuffle, these Mad Max looking fools grab Esther, and one of them ganks her. He throws his ass into the beam right there with that helmet covered in all kinds of spikes and stuff. I like the idea there. And he tells them, I'll get this. I'll handle this. And they're devastated because that's one of their people. That was, Esther. And Maggie's a little taken back about what's about to happen. And when you see what happens, when she follows him, you have Negan, knock, 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 busting this dude through the window. Who's there? I love his Neganness. And he does revert back to that old school Negan that we saw. That the way he deals with his violence is very showman-like. He portrays this big, violent scene that we know he doesn't like. At least he says he doesn't. And it terrifies. I mean, it's grandiose. It's theater grand guignol. Grand guignol? Grand guignol? Grand guignol? Yeah, I don't know. But it is theater. It is theater, and it's just meant to be menacing and terrifying, so you don't follow him. And after he guts that dude and throws him over and turns around, and he sees Maggie, and Maggie sees him, and you don't know, maybe she was thinking about forgiving him. Maybe she wasn't. But after that, after she sees that, What what is she supposed to do when they make that eye contact again? It's just she has to look away because it's supposed to help her get her son, but it's the same guy that did that horrible, horrible thing to Glenn. And you see in Negan's face, he doesn't like being that beast, but he has to project it because he feels that's how he saves everybody. And when you look at him sitting there by himself, everybody around there's talking, and Maggie's looking at everybody, and she has that look of disgust on her face. And Negan is not happy with what he just did at all. But this is what I feel the whole crux of the episode and this series is about. Her and him. She needs him for this to get her son back, but he is using her to protect this girl, and he is just trying to live. And in order to try and make up for his past misdeeds, he's willing to go along with this. Maggie keeps shitting on him along the way. He's taking it. He's taking it so far, which there's no letting up, and that's what I was excited to see on this because again, at any time she seems to want to strike out and she can kill him at any time she wants to, and he is on high alert. I mean, but he's still willing to go with her. And back to the marshal and his cut ass, and we see the Kurat and why they have these things all over their helmets, smashing the zombies and the walkers. Sorry, not zombies, walkers, smashing the walkers and killing them, and how easy it is for them. And he walks up to the marshal, and starts just telling him, "Oh, you're here, you're safe, you're protected now. We got you." And you're a little unnerved because Marshall's definitely unnerved. He is definitely this dude's prisoner, and he knows it. And when the Kurat walks away, it's just get him up. I enjoy where this is going. The Kurat's definitely a bad dude. And I want to see more of him. I want to see what really makes that dude take. I don't want to see him torturing people, of course, but definitely want to see him be scary. Somebody that terrifies Negan. That Negan felt had to go. Let's see why. All right, so that's this week's episode. Hope you enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed it, and would like to discuss it with you all. See what you thought of it. See, maybe are you a Maggie or are you a Negan person? Like I said, I float between them both. I really like Negan's character. I like how Jeffrey Dean Morgan portrays his character. He makes him very likable, but then those flashbacks make you remember exactly who he is. This scene and this episode in particular shows you again. This is who Negan is. He is, well, violence. He is a hurricane, if you will, and he levels. That dude. He destroys him, tosses them over to his friends to make that point, so they don't follow. And when Maggie sees that, how devastated she is again. That is what I wanted to see in this series, and what I want to continue seeing with them because. Again, how is she supposed to forgive what he did to Glenn when we saw how brutal and violent it was, even though it was to protect his people? And she sees that it was just still to one of our loved ones. Can she forgive that? I mean, I think she's going to need to eventually to just kind of live a life, any life. That's just too much anger and energy to project on somebody other than yourself. Negan, I mean, is he gonna finally persuade Maggie to forgive him to where she could see, he is bad, but he's a necessary kind of bad. He's not evil. He's just as angry and as mean as evil, if that makes sense. And in a world like that, a good person does have to be mean, in a sense. Meaner and tougher than evil. So, uh, I like this. I like his character. I like his portrayal. I like where it's going. Special effects are great. Gutting that dude. I enjoyed that. I like the special effects. Nick Taro and his team done it again. That's one of the things about this series, the gore. It's always there. It's outlandish. It's great. It's there for us, and I appreciate that as a horror avocato. Well, that's our review and our thoughts today for this episode. Let us know what you think. We'd like to hear your thoughts on this episode, get a conversation going. Where are you standing on this series? Are you a Maggie? Are you a Negan person? Definitely go ahead and let us know. We want to communicate, want to build the community. All right. Well, thanks for joining us again. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And again, I am Gabe. I'm Elevated Daily. Thank you for joining us. Stay safe and stay elevated as always.